Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Thursday, July 4th, 2019. My name is Rich, and joining me to cover the Baltimore Qualifiers on this Independence Day is Bijan. How are you making out?
Happy Independence Day, everyone. All celebrations and everything. You feeling the patriotism, Rich, over there in Canada?
I had mine a few days ago. Yes, we had Canada Day first, and then we allow you to go 3 days later.
Oh, I feel that shade. It's a little cold over here. But yeah, like, you know, however anybody wants to celebrate, all best wishes and well wishes to everyone. I mean, I promised everyone I'm starting my swimming classes. I did my second session today. People say swimming's a workout. Oh my gosh, I am hurting like so much. I am so sore.
Really? So how's it going, I guess? Like, obviously you're sore, but it's like coming along? Are you learning stuff? It's only been 2 lessons. Like, I don't...
Yeah, I'm not great, but I'm not bad. I have the technique down, right, of like swimming and all that, but it's this breathing thing, man. Why do we have to breathe? I wish I had gills. This is very difficult. Like, every time I try to go up for air, like on that little side stroke thingy, I just take in a whole chunk of water. Just going to take time. I'm not going to let it get to me. I have plenty more opportunities to learn. It'll get there.
Awesome. I'm glad you're sticking with it. It's good. It's a good skill to learn.
Yeah, say the least. In particular, if you're going to be on American Ninja Warrior.
It's not a bad skill to have for sure. So Baltimore Qualifiers, what did you think of this course?
Man, it's a weird course. I at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because it's so power intensive. Like, it's very heavy on one skill. It's a very big forearm burner. Like, all these obstacles, other than of course the balance obstacle, really taxing your forearms. But the more I watched the episode, the more I really enjoyed it, man. In particular, what's that like balancy, crazy, like weird obstacle with where you basically have to jump for your life?
Hazard cones.
Yeah, that's an apropos title, man, because that thing is scary, but I like those. At first, I was like, these are kind of like the quintuple steps. I don't know how I feel about them, but there's a lot more complexity to that. I mean, wow. They made for some really great moments in this episode. And, of course, crank it up, man. Difficult. Crazy difficult. And it's weird because, once again, visually, I'm like, I want to try that. That looks like, difficult, but not crazy. But once again, ninja killer.
Yeah, I don't know about this course for me. I don't know if it's hard to figure out here. The course is all right. If I look at the individual obstacles, I like them. The new obstacles are fine. I don't know. There's something about this episode that just didn't stick with me like the previous ones have. This is the first qualifier that I got bored watching.
Wow, interesting. I gotta say, I like this episode more than the last episode.
Really?
The last episode. No, sorry, scratch that, because the last episode was the one with all the ninjas. The one prior to that, the one with the cake ninja.
Right.
I like this one more than the cake ninja episode.
Interesting. So let's go through some of the runs here. Let's see what actually what hit and what didn't. The first person to take the course was actually Daniel Eiskind, part of an a cappella group called the Mama's Boys, and they sang a little song before he ran the course, which was kind of cute, I guess.
It was cute, man. I liked it. It's short, and hey, they could sing, so I was like, you go, guys. You go.
It was memorable. It was something different. It was a nice change of pace. He managed to beat Dangerous Curves, one of the new obstacles. That was cool, and ended up going out on the hazard cones, which we saw plenty of. The third one spun out under his foot.
Yeah, I mean, with those hazard cones, you want to have, it's similar to the quintuple steps. You want to be more towards the middle, keep your momentum forward, and really, how would you go about doing this obstacle, Rich? Would you would you tackle or like jump for the last cone, or would you just make a leap for it?
Probably take the leap for it. I really,
man, same.
It's so offset and weird and weirdly angled and everything else. I feel like the last one's just looking for you to trip up on it.
Yeah, I mean, same thing, man. It's one of those things where everybody knows their body and if they can make that jump, but I feel like you just got to go for it.
Yeah. I think it's a tough jump. I don't think it's an easy obstacle by any stretch, but I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, but hey, props to the designers because they probably knew a lot of people would make that leap for it. And once again, we always say, Rich, we like obstacles that give people different ways of going through it, right? So there is, if you don't feel comfortable jumping for it, take that extra step on that last one and go for it. But I gotta say, it made for some great television with everybody making that leap. Some scary moments, I gotta say, ooh, somebody's going to hurt themselves on that one day going for that leap. But it was entertaining, those falls.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't like that element of danger, I guess. I kept waiting for someone to break a leg on that thing, the way they were slamming into those last pads. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't hate the obstacle, but it was, I don't know. Something about those falls were not good. After that, we had Alex Goodwin, who had the audacity to use the name The Natural after Ellett Hall retired it a couple of years ago, but I know I'm not going to let that slide. No, I'm not going to at all.
Rich is on a good one today.
It's late. I'm cranky. He works for Animal Adventures, rescuing animals. Actually, the animals were really cool. I couldn't believe the variety they had there.
Yeah, I actually really, really enjoyed this. This actually wins a visually profound edit of the night. I really found this entertaining. I have a soft spot for animals, sanctuaries and everything like that. And I thought it was just fun seeing somebody that's so passionate about what they do. And I don't know. It was like a fun little segment. I liked it.
Yeah, and for somebody that's only been training for 2 months, he actually was fantastic on the course.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Akbar had his snake around his neck the whole time, kind of goofing around with that. He was the first person we saw skip the last cone, the hazard cones. He was really struggling on Crank It Up, though, and couldn't transition to that last bar, that big drop. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that is seriously a big drop.
Yeah, that'd be hard with your arms being fresh, I would think, and your grip strength all there. After everything else you've gone through, that's a tall task.
Yeah, and once again, like this course is a big like grip strength forearm killer. Particular that little surfboard thingamajigger, like you're basically holding on for your dear life, and that's going to tax everything out of your arms.
Next up on the course, we had Angela Gargano, who had a big brace on her leg, which she did eventually take off. I thought she was running with it for a minute. I was like, I don't think you'd be running if you still need that brace. She injured her right knee last year. She tore her ACL doing a big dismount. And kind of sympathize with this one.
Yeah, I felt really bad for her. I mean, that's one of the worst injuries you can have as an athlete. And it sounds like this is part of her, like career or whatever, I believe they said she was a fitness model or something to that degree. So, I mean, I really feel for her, but I'm really happy she was able to come back and overcome that.
Yeah, she was very passionate on the course. She was very, very amped up, especially when she managed to make a big dismount on the double twister and was still okay. She was able to beat dangerous curves, but did fall on the hazard cones and gave me a mild heart attack in the process.
Yeah. her landing on that or falling on that was a little scary.
Yeah, let's take that knee that you just had a brace on and slam it into the last part of that obstacle. It's a perfect way to end that one.
Yeah. But hey, it's healed. I mean, if there's ever a way to test it, that's one way.
Yep. She was good. After her, we had Brandon Stenta, an 18-year-old, a 26-year-old now, but he was an 18-year-old father of a young boy named Brody, who split with the mother when he was 3 months. So a single father, a rookie, and looking very, very smooth on the course, even able to do the hazard cones without any issue. And he managed to get that final transition on the Crank It Up. I could not believe that guy made it up the wall in the first attempt. Very, very cool that he was able to do that.
Yeah. Also tied for visually profound video of the night. Oh my gosh, this kid is so cute. I love the story. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of a hypocrite because I poo-poo so often these stories of I'm a parent or blah, blah, blah. But I guess it's a little... I mean, Is it unique, Rich? But I feel like we don't hear enough stories about like a single father, and no discredit to any single women or mothers out there, because it's such a hard task being a single parent in general. But in particular, a single father, I just feel like we haven't seen this enough or very much at all on American Ninja Warrior. So it was a nice perspective in that degree, in particular with how young he was, 18 years old. He was still a kid. So, yeah, a really interesting story, and I'm really glad that they grew up and they're so close to each other.
Yep, very nice. After him, we had Nick Green, Baltimore firefighter, 41 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds, big dude.
That is a big dude.
Yeah, he was straining a bit through the course and ended up falling on the descent of dangerous curves, but a pretty respectable run.
Yeah, and he actually got further than I thought he was, because he was struggling even at the beginning of those dangerous curves. But he really gutted it out far into that.
Yeah, I think that was it for me too. Is like I really thought he was going to go down sooner, but he to make it all the way to that descent on because those dangerous curves were no joke. To make it to the back end of those was good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things. Once again, I look at him and I'm like, can I do that? But then it's like the descent looks deceptively crazy difficult, man.
Yeah, some of the transitions on that look hard too, right? Like you've got to try to basically hold yourself in such an awkward way with just one hand to get your other hand moved around. It seems like it'd be really easy to slip up.
Yeah.
Next up on the course, we had Abby Clark, who adopted a border collie. What's the opposite of the athletically or visually profound segment of the night?
Shame!
She was the only female who finished in Minneapolis last year. Abby is amazing. I remember her from last year for sure. Yeah. Looking very solid on the course again this year, right through the dangerous curves. Ended up going out on the hazard cone. She bumped her feet together on the second cone, unfortunately.
Is that what happened? I didn't catch that. I knew she fell, but oh man, that sucks. That said, Abby, very, very strong. I remember her from last year, and yeah, she looked great going through this course, though. Did she make it far enough to move on?
She did. Yep, she was second.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm actually looking. I think she's going to go really, really far in the city finals. I wouldn't be shocked if she makes it to Vegas.
Yeah, me too. I really think so. Strong field, though. It will be a big pull here. Let's see how she does. I
mean, let's be real. Allyssa Beird, I mean, she's the one to beat, but...
Yeah, there's some strong competition for second place, for sure. But after her, we had Connor Galvin, whose grandpa Ducky, who's 93, was on the sidelines, he got all the segment here. He walks 3 miles per day, served in World War II.
Yeah, how did you feel about this, man? The whole Ducky thing?
It was too much for me, and it was not enough about Connor. I don't know really much about Connor.
Yeah, I don't understand why they went that path, going so strongly into the grandfather segment. I mean, we've seen time and time again, Rich. I mean, different ninjas is really about their parents. I forget the name of the guy. I think it was like the Big Dog Ninja or whatever with his mom or his aunt or something like that, right? And there's like a few other relatives that are heavily featured. But this one, I mean, I don't know. They hyped up this guy as the oldest fan for so long, but like, did we really need his whole biography?
No, I really don't get it at all. Like I said, some of the times the sidelines people are more entertaining or engaging. We've had backflipping kids on the sidelines. We've had, oh God, why can't I think? Carson Williams' mother yelling at him from the sidelines. Right, there are definitely
him.
some good examples out there. And I have no
And we
problem.
also had that grandfather.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but remember the granddad?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't think of the guy's name either.
Yeah, but he's like a fan, but they show him off on the sideline, but they don't do a whole like, hey, here's his whole life story about it. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but man, I just did not care for it.
No, show him, coaching Connor, or like, it just seemed like they really didn't have the focus where it needed to be overall.
Yep. I hate doing this, but again, shame. Maybe this is why you didn't like it, man. I'm doing 2 shames in this whole episode. But man,
There's more to come.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like maybe because they needed to do something about Connor, because he makes it to the Power Tower, right?
Yeah. Like, do you really need I don't know. Yeah, they had to do something with him. The kid's flying through the course, looking really strong, finishes it in 2:07 without having any problems whatsoever. Like, I mean, do we need a detailed story? He just did fantastic. Like, just show him training and stuff.
I mean, I feel bad because this is the problem. I remember nothing of his run. Not a single thing. Because all I remember is them going right back to Ducky. Back to Ducky.
Yep.
And I'm like, he seems like a really nice guy. I don't want to hate on him. But, like, why? I don't get it. So, I mean, I don't know anything about this guy. I unfortunately really don't care about him to this degree yet. I mean, not saying I won't. But at this point, I mean, I have no opinion of him, really.
Bijan, how dare you shame a veteran on Independence Day? A World War II veteran. Awful.
I'm so unpatriotic. Shame on myself.
And just to be clear, obviously I'm joking. We have nothing against the grandfather. Just to be clear, it's just that the segment itself was too much.
Get ready for your inbox to get flooded, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm just picturing it. Okay. Next up, we had some fast forwards worth noting here. Carl Fantuzzo was fast forwarded, who fell on the shrinking steps which is definitely a contender for me for one of the most shocking falls of the year.
I guess.
Casey Rothschild, who did so amazing last year, ended up going out on dangerous curves and did not make the top 5 this year.
Yeah, that was far more of a shocker to me, man. I mean, Casey Rothschild, she was amazing last year. Like, one of the biggest breakout stars in terms of, like, the newbies, right? And, yeah. It sucks that she fell in that way, and we're not going to see her. I mean, I was really amped to see what she can do.
Yeah. And also shocking, John Alexis Jr. fell on dangerous curves.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I totally forgot about that, but that was a big one also. It's crazy, man. Did John Alexis Jr. fall early last year? I feel like he did also, right?
Sort of. He didn't get to the mega wall last year, which we expected him to.
Oh, well, then he did make it, though. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty shocking to me. But, I mean, we'll see him in Ninja versus Ninja if that comes back.
Yeah, which I don't think it is. So, next year, I guess.
I wonder what they're going to do. Because, I mean, you got to feel like USA wants something of a Ninja. Or the ANW brand is strong, right? Sorry to go, the politics of it, but like the brand is strong, and I'm sure they want something, at least something to have, like, the ratings impacted during the winter break. So I'm just curious if something else is gonna take its place.
I don't know. I bring back Ninja Boot Camp. Let's have a new one of those.
I mean, you say that.
Not in the same style, but I'm thinking, like, you know what? I would love to watch. It's the wrong station, but can you imagine like a ninja version of Big Brother or Survivor? How cool would that be?
Very dependent on the ninjas. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, but the competitions they could have would be so much better.
Yeah, it's very true. Just remember, guys, bring the personality.
Yes. Speaking of personality and skill, next on the course was Joe Moravsky, making me think, mid-episode Joe Moravsky is not good.
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, for me, I was like, at least just fail at the mega wall because I don't want you to fall early. Please don't let this happen.
Especially after the montage of shocking falls and with his injury that we knew about, which they didn't bring up, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, he referenced kind of like, even if I have 2 broken arms, I'm still going to go up that. I mean, he didn't have a broken arm. He had a broken finger or like an injured finger, but still. I was just very cautious throughout this whole run.
I was thinking, like, so of all the obstacles, I was looking ahead and I was thinking, oh God, dangerous curves would be really bad with the type of injury he was facing where he couldn't really grip with his middle fingers very well.
I wasn't worried about dangerous curves, honestly. It was that hazard cone thing. I was terrified of that. Because it's that obstacle that everybody's falling at.
Yeah, he skipped the last hazard cone, though. He actually was crazy efficient on Crank It Up. Like,
yeah,
way better than anyone else on Crank It Up.
Super OP. I mean, dude knows how to do his box jumps, apparently.
So he gets the Mega Wall. I was super excited for him to get his big victory, and he missed it all 3 times, which I was very, very shocked to see.
I was really shocked by how, like, not close he was.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing we've been talking about, like, for the past year, it seems, is, like, this guy is going to be obsessed with it, and clearly the segment showed he was. And you have to imagine he's been training like crazy. I wonder if the injury somehow hampered his training. And I mean, I don't know how that would work, but maybe. It was just a big question mark and really shocking to me.
It has to have been wet, right? Like, they referenced it. They don't normally even bring it up. It must have been pretty bad for them to even mention that the temperature and maybe the sea air was causing some moisture, because there's no way that the people that we saw fail on it this episode wouldn't have been able to do it normally.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy. I mean, did we have anybody complete the mega wall?
Not a single person this episode.
Yeah, I mean, they might be onto something.
Yeah.
Particularly, like, the one thing we talk about all the time is how Joe Moravsky is probably the best when it comes to technique. This guy's like a surgeon, like deciphering every single element of every obstacle and the technique involved. You're telling me he's going on his second attempt to just run into the wall? Nah, something's going on there.
Yeah. I did like that they stressed the Mega Wall thing, because I think when we were looking ahead to this season, we knew the Mega Wall thing was coming, and the speed passes, and is like, I don't care what else they offer up. There is no way Joe's not going for that Mega Wall. I know that was eating at him all year. And it's funny that they basically said the same thing.
Yeah, but that just made it all the more heartbreaking, man. Like, Joe didn't make it again, and if it is something that was outside of his control, like the elements and weather, God, that is rough. That is so rough, man. And you know it's going to, like, eat at Joe, like, all season.
Yep.
Or all year, I should say. Just another thing that I'm thinking about it is, going into the season, I would have sworn we'd have so many people completing the Mega Wall now that they've had a year to train and prepare for it. And really, I would say at the very least, it would be even or parallel to last year, honestly. I mean, I don't know the numbers of how many people have completed the Mega Wall, but to me, it's shockingly low.
Yeah, I think it's a little higher this year. And I think what people aren't considering, because I've seen that comment in a few places, right? People thinking that there should be more. Why aren't they training it and things like that? Is like, well, it's hard to put together a 14-foot warped wall, and you know, and it barely fits in a lot of gyms. They can't even climb on top. They've just got to just grab the top. Like, constructing an 18-foot mega wall is kind of a tall order.
I saw that pun there. but more so, and you're onto something there, is how safe can it be? I mean, when I see the mega wall, just a regular mega wall at a gym, as you alluded to, it's to the ceiling. And I'm like, there's no way in heck I'm going on that, because if I fall, that's going to be a long way down. And obviously there's a proper way of, like, sliding down, and you got to learn it and all this stuff. But when you bring in the element of something even higher, the danger is extreme, like, very much. It might just be something where you got to go for it when you're on the show, but why take the risk of really hurting yourself outside of the show?
Yeah. And I just think it doesn't fit most places, right? In most gyms, you're just not going to have 18 feet to put it. Next person to actually take the course was Brandon Singletary, who they focused on a father-son rivalry, the Brick City Ninjas, him and his dad. It was a fine segment, I guess.
I'm starting to wonder why I like this episode more than the Cake Ninja episode, because I think I really like the course, because it definitely isn't the segments, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the segments were very weak this episode, and I don't even blame the ninjas. I feel like the editing was poor this episode, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't lying. I feel like there's a lot more in these people's lives that you can highlight than this.
He was really struggling on the dangerous curves, ended up falling on the descent.
Yeah, I mean, for how much time they gave to him in the segment, I was pretty surprised of where he fell. Not that there's anything wrong with that particularly, but yeah.
Yeah. After him, we had, I think it was Tamika Catchings, WNBA executive, all-time playoff scoring leader, and now training ninja, the tallest woman we've seen on the course, 6'2".
Yeah, I liked this. This was fun. It's a new type of ninja, not new type of ninja, but you know what I mean, like somebody that or type of ninja that we haven't seen all that like often. A woman that's very like athletic, from a strong athletic background, prestigious, like has a real name, very tall. I mean, just in just the visual element, completely different from all the other female ninjas that tend to be on the smaller spectrum. Let's be real. I've met a lot of the female ninjas. They are short, and yeah. I was really excited to see what she can do if she had, just instantly. I mean, the first obstacle, we see all these other ninjas hopping from one step to another. She's literally walking across them, man. Like, yeah. She's so tall. But also, once again, she's representing a community that isn't really represented all that much. I forget, she's not completely deaf, but she's like hard of hearing, right? Something to that element.
She seemed to be, just judging by her speech, and they mentioned that she was, why can't I think of his name? I really like that guy, Kyle Schelsey, that she worked with him for that community.
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, I thought we were going to see him this episode, but I don't remember seeing him.
No.
Like, was he even in a fast forward or anything?
No, and I didn't see him on the list of ones that we skipped, so I don't know if he was just there cheering her on or what.
Yeah, maybe he didn't run.
Maybe not. Maybe he's next week. But yeah, she was very different. And honestly, I was very impressed because I thought she was there for name recognition. She like a lot of times they have basketball players and other people on. And it's like, I mean, they don't really train ninja. She does train ninja though, and she did really well, especially for a rookie.
Yeah, she did great.
She ended up going out on the transition from the middle to the descent of the dangerous curves, but a very respectable run. Very interested to see if she continues doing ninja next year. Yeah.
I mean, if she can get that whole John Alexis Jr. type of, or pretty much any of the bigger ninjas, right? Like the taller ninjas, she can really be somebody that like represents the female ninjas in a completely different way.
In the fast forwards following her, we had Desi Singletary. That's the father of Brandon, who we just saw slightly before in the father-son rivalry, who fell in the same spot as his son. And then we had a fast forward of Cara Polillo of Ninja Babes, who went out on the descent of dangerous curves and did make the top 5. So we will see her in the city finals.
Oh, I'm a really big fan of Cara. I think she's doing great stuff. Like, shout out to Ninja Babes podcast, and also just her as an athlete. I mean, she's really done very well. I think she's only trained for maybe a year or 2 years, but in that time, man, she is super talented.
Very passionate too. Great interviews. Definitely check out Ninja Babes if you haven't yet. Then we get to see Garrett Lamb, a Rhodes Scholar with a degree from Harvard, and his identical twin Austin has cerebral palsy.
Yeah, it was a nice segment.
It was all right. It was okay. It was a little hectic on the first 2 obstacles, but he's doing a good job. No real issues, and ended up beating the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember, like, there's nothing really that stood out to me in terms of his run, but yeah, he looked definitely strong. I think, I mean, how many finishers were there? I'm wondering if like there were just so few finishers this episode that they wanted to really highlight the people that did hit a buzzer.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I saw the list of finishers. I think it was pretty normal, like a relatively average list, 5-10 or so, like not an exorbitant amount, but not too few.
I don't know, man. It felt like less people hit the buzzer this year, or this episode. But I mean, to be fair, a lot of people went for the mega wall and didn't hit it, so there's that also.
Yeah. We had a fast forward after that of Jamie Ron, who finished it and is wearing custom shoes now. Didn't go for the mega wall. It was interesting.
I mean, I don't blame him. If he was going for the, Power Tower, the Speed Pass, That's fine.
They didn't really indicate his time, though, so I don't know if that was what the plan was or he just decided not to bother. I don't know. After him, we had Allyssa Beird, who, after her big fall in stage 1 last year, took a 3-week European backpack trip with her sister.
Good for her, man. I mean, it's weird, but sometimes I like to hear updates on ninjas, in particular when they do face some adversity, right? And I mean, I can speak from experience. There is a lot of frustration. Like, you don't show it on your face, of course, but like when you get home, there's a lot of just emotions involved with it. And I can't even, like, to whatever I've felt, she had so much pressure on her, probably from the fact of all of her pedigree and her accolades from the previous seasons. So, I mean, I'm glad that she was able to go home, reassess, and most importantly, have positive vibes. You know what I mean? Come back and just go back into the gym feeling like completely refreshed and happy, because that's the best place you can be. I hate hearing the stories where ninjas are like, man, I was in the dumps after I fell early and all this stuff. I mean, I'm really glad she did a very, I guess, mature, smart approach to this.
Yeah, from listening to her in other interviews, she has a very healthy perspective on ninja and her approach on the course. I don't think she lets it get to her.
And that's good.
Yeah. She's looking very solid on the course. Once again, right through dangerous curves, she was the only woman to beat the hazard cones. I was very confused, though. Michelle Warnke and Flex Lebrack jumped the fence and run to the sidelines, and then I don't see them there. I don't know what was with that or where they were at, but they made a point of it, and then I couldn't see them anywhere near the course, so I don't know where they were standing.
I mean, I'm sure they're just trying to create the vibe of, oh my god, this is so exciting. The women hop the fence. I mean, in actuality, if you're at ANW filming and you hop that barrier, somebody's gonna tackle you probably. Don't do that, people. But I'm sure there's somebody behind the camera being like, hop the fence. It's like, come on, let's do this, you know?
Yeah, that's what I kind of got the impression. There was some editing going on there. She ended up going out on the third crank. She couldn't hold on. So that makes Maggie Thorne still the only woman to beat Crank It Up.
Did not know that. Wow. Once again, man, Maggie Thorne, the heart of that woman. She will never give up. Like, I know it's such a cliche, but I mean, her and John Cena, they wear it on their sleeves, you know? That said, I mean, everything about this run, I absolutely loved. I mean, Allyssa Beird fought through this course, really showed her poise and really just calmness in terms of like really, really difficult obstacles. And I don't know, maybe it was just the story like leading up to it or something, but I really enjoyed her run and she looks so incredibly strong. I think she's 100% going to Vegas, and I think she is primed to complete stage 1 again, if not stage 2, and so on and so forth. Allyssa Beird, you get the athletically profound run of the night. 100%, you earned it. Dopeness.
Very nice. After her, we had some fast forwards, including Chris Wilczewski, who failed the Mega Wall this year after beating it last year, very epically last year, which makes me think something else is going on there. That's the one that gets me. We know we can do it.
Yeah, true. I mean, let's be real. The last run is more for me. I feel like, okay, slings up.
Yeah. Lucas Reale also finished the course, and Anthony DeFranco was fast-forwarded, finished with the second fastest time to that point.
Yeah, I feel bad. I recognize Reale's name and face, but I do not remember this guy. So I think I'm just going to have to look back last year, because it's like, I recognize him. So obviously there's a reason to like keep an eye out for him, but I just don't remember anything about him.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat, right? There's so many strong rookie ninjas last year. It's hard to kind of keep them straight in some ways. But this led us to what was probably my favorite moment of the night. Dave Cavanagh, king of the walk-ons, notorious ninja, has been talked very favorably in the ninja community for the last few years. Everyone could not understand why he had to keep doing the walk-on line, why he wasn't getting an invite. 6 seasons, 77 days. And this season, he gets an invite now that it's a lottery system, which was such a relief, I'm sure.
Yeah, this was a really, really nice segment. I mean, I wish I can give it also athletically, visually profound, but it's like too much, But this, I guess, because we have that kind of connection as super fans with what goes on in the walk-ons and everything involved with it. I mean, this guy has really fought it out and shown his passion for ANW in a very different way from a lot of the more, I guess, privileged even ninjas or people like me that have been able to go on the show without having to sit in the walk-ons. And not only just like one city, but this guy's like gone to multiple cities. I mean, this guy's really, really just done it all to get on the show. And I mean, I've ranted and raved many, many times at this point about how it's a shame that he's never been able to just be invited. And I'm really glad that he is. I mean, this guy deserves it. And honestly, I hope I see him every single year running.
He did a good job of securing that spot by getting the fastest time.
Yes.
Which meant that he was guaranteed to move through to the Power Tower no matter how Najee Richardson does in the final run. So, fantastic job, Dave. Amazing run. Very, very solid, obviously, to get the fastest time. I saw a lot of concern when there was the lottery system being put in place specifically for Dave. So it's so nice to see that it worked out for him.
That's a good point because that was one of my biggest concerns. It's like, what about the people like Dave that, are out there forever? I mean, I get the lottery system and I don't have too many qualms about it. But there are unique circumstances where you're really screwing somebody over. So I'm really glad at the very least they can give this guy a break.
All right, so that led us to Najee Richardson taking the course, who darn near launched himself into orbit coming off the double twister.
That was crazy.
He just barely beats the hazard cones, giving everyone a shock to wake everyone back up. Dude,
okay, so... there's certain ninjas where I just kind of glaze over at a certain point because I'm like, well, they're going to do it like they're doing everything perfectly. Right. And I'm like, oh, here's Najee. That damn near gave me a heart attack, bro. Like, oh my God, Najee of all people is about to like fall on this. Oh my God. I like, don't do this to me, people. Don't like my heart can't take it.
As much as I dislike the wild cards, if he had fallen, I would have been all for it. Yes, wild card Najee, and I do not want him to miss Vegas.
There's been some big high-profile falls this year already, so.
There hasn't really, though. It's really been a good year for not having high-profile falls.
I feel like every season there is, man. I got to look back, but I feel like there's been some fast forwards. Like, not the main runs, but the fast forwards. There's some named ninjas there.
Yeah, I don't think it's been too bad, but we'll see. And we haven't gotten through the finals yet, and we still have one more qualifier. But he missed the mega wall on all three attempts. Even to that third attempt, I thought, well, he's going to do it. Like, there's no way he's not doing it. And, he didn't do it.
Yeah, this is Najee, guys. I mean, if you guys think back to the skills challenges for the mega wall before it was a mega wall, I mean, this guy knows how to do this. He's very, very talented in running vertically up walls, so to speak. And I mean, you might be onto something when you're bringing up the weather, man, because something was in the air that day.
All right, so that led us to the Power Tower with, yet again, a veteran versus a rookie, Dave Cavanagh versus Connor Galvin.
Yeah, but that said, I mean, I was telling you before this, leading into the Power Tower, I'm like, I have no idea who's on the Power Tower. Like, before they even said the names, I'm like, they must not be names that, like, the producers are really behind often or something, because I feel like there hasn't been, like, strong promotion for the Power Tower this episode, which necessarily isn't bad. I mean, you can't just harp on the Power Tower every single time, but I don't know, man. I feel like, once again, this Gavin guy, maybe he wasn't giving them much when it comes to personality or something. Maybe that's why they're going all in with his grandfather, but oof.
Yeah, I don't know. But in the race, Dave pulled ahead early on and just kept opening up the gap. He scrambled up the bar faster and brought home the win. So Dave Cavanagh gets a speed pass to Vegas.
Yes. Oh, the irony. But man, I love it. Dave Cavanagh, like, he's so passionate, and he really, I mean, it was a blowout. I mean, it was a clean blowout where Dave Cavanagh was just never going to give up his lead. So it wasn't like neck and neck, but I mean, you can't expect that every time with a power tower. But I'm so happy in terms of the story, the overall story of Dave Cavanagh. It was so heartwarming, and what a beautiful capper to this episode of somebody that's so strong in the ninja community and so passionate, and you see it in just everything that he's done. And then at the end of the episode, he's the one that gets all the fame and glory. He's the person that ends out the episode, and he's literally holding on to that, crying, and can feel that emotion. And I was so incredibly happy for the guy.
Yep. We didn't have a Joe Moravsky or a Jamie Ron or Chris Wilczewski or any of these other guys, or Najee. It ended up being Dave Cavanagh
or Allyssa Beird,
standing tall.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm super happy for the guy. Maybe that's why I like this episode, is that it had some low lows, but it also had some really high highs. And I guess for me, the highs outweighed the lows.
For me, they didn't, to be quite frank. And as we reviewed it here, I kind of reminded me. I liked Allyssa Beird's segment, and I liked Dave Cavanagh's segment. Those were the ones that kind of drew me in, and almost rescued it at the end for me, but just not quite enough.
Yeah. I mean, we all have those days, or particularly those episodes where we're just like, I just do not care.
Yeah, it's weird though, because like I said, it's not the ninjas. I liked a lot of these ninjas. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm hoping for better things in Cincinnati. We're gonna have some of our favorites.
Yeah.
Next week, including
who's left?
Tyler Yamauchi for one. Ooh. Who I was just yesterday, I actually set a reminder on my phone because I was out somewhere. I was like, I gotta look after I see this episode to make sure that Tyler didn't get skipped this season, and he did not. I saw him post that he ran in Cincinnati, so we will see him next week, or at least in a fast forward or something.
Cannonball, man, he's great.
That also will be, assuming the Towers of Power are not infringing on any trademarks, and they will be invited this year, hopefully.
Is there a story there? What do you mean?
The Power Tower. Then we get the Towers of Power running the Power Tower.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know if they're going to allow that.
Well, I mean, no more bros. No more bros.
Yes.
I'm going to have that sheen bell so ready. I swear. I'm just, please don't do that to me. I can't.
Looking at last year's runs in Indianapolis, which is nearby, I figure, so we still have possibly Brian Arnold.
Oh, yeah, we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, Isaac
what about
Caldero.
any of the Wolfpack?
Yeah, any other Wolfpack, I guess, would probably be running there. I think we've still got to see Ethan Swanson. So there's a few big ones. Yeah,
there's some strong ninjas out there left. And pretty much all the ninjas we talked about, very upper body strong, like in terms of grip strength and all that rock climbing backgrounds. So, well, I guess other than Ethan Swanson, but he's really talented also in that degree. Maybe he also has a background. I'm not sure. But yeah, very curious about the course then, because I feel like if all those ninjas were on this course,
yeah,
they would do pretty well. But it's all dependent on the obstacles on that course.
So before we wrap up this episode, let's take a look and see if we have any 5-star reviews this week on iTunes. Oh, look at this. We do. Thank you very much to Xander Rude, who wrote in Love Rich and Bijan. It says, love Rich and Bijan's commentary so much. Hearing it straight from the mouths of fellow fanboys is one of the best ways to catch up on all things Ninja Warrior. They give comprehensive breakdowns and analysis of the episodes and give us all the info we need to stay up to date. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Xander. I gotta say, you were not rude. You're fantastic. I love you, Xander. Oh my gosh. Once again, everyone, give us 5-star reviews on iTunes. Give the shout-outs. Spread the word and everything like that. Just like Xander Rude right over here. My man, my homie, my brother. Oh my gosh. Fellow American Ninja Warrior fan. I love you, buddy. Xander Rude, you get the 5-star review of the week.
All right. So if you'd like to get a shout-out from Bijan, please make sure to stop by and leave your 5-star review. And if you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I'm at Ninja Podcast on both. I'm at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. Hey, Bijan, how can they reach you?
You almost made it through, buddy.
Almost.
Hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan151. I will not be rude to you.
Thank you all so much for listening, and have a wonderful week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all.